Always excited to be joined by Philadelphia Union head coach Jim Curtin. Coach, how you doing today?
Good, guys. Thanks for having me so much.
We love it when you join us. Some season you got going on so far. You've clinched a playoff berth, clinched a spot in the CONCACAF Champions League. We've got decision day coming up this Sunday as the Union have a chance to play and lock up the Supporter Shield. This has been a crazy season for you. What does it mean to you and the organization to be in the position you're in with the opportunity you have right now before you?
Well, look, I think it's been a challenging year for everybody, sports aside completely. We've all faced different challenges in life. It's been unique and chaotic, and we've had to adapt and adjust in so many different things we used to call normal in life. So our team is no different. The season has been stop and start. It's been down in Florida in a bubble, restarting and getting momentum and being a really consistent team throughout the year. The players deserve a ton of credit. The commitment they've shown in the locker room, the environment that we've created with my staff, the challenges to get better each and every day. And we've put a fun product on the field. We're a really fun team to watch, especially at home where we're undefeated at Subaru Park. So we have a little bit of the season left, one more challenge, and then from there the real season starts in playoffs where we think we can beat anybody.
Coach, we've talked to you over the years about the growth of this team and how they've actually put together the real process in the city of Philadelphia. When did you know that this team had what it takes to vie for the best record in the entire league?
That's a great question. So I think when you talk about consistency and trying to build a culture at a club, it does take time. It's not going to be snap your fingers and all of a sudden players are just going to be in an environment where they can get better and we're going to just win games. It really took a lot of foresight from our ownership to go big on the youth academy model. To believe we could build from within. And again, now as the time's gone by, we've improved gradually every year. It hasn't been this lightning in a bottle moment where we just all of a sudden we're like, hey, we're one of the best teams. It took time. I think the first time I realized we could compete and play with anybody was probably last season. When we had the good run and then got our first playoff win and had a tough loss in Atlanta. While we lost that game in front of 50,000 people, I looked around and you had teenagers starting for us. You had this Ali Bedoya, our captain, who had done so much for the group. And you kind of realized, something special is here. And then this season started and we've been on a great run, and now to be in first place going into the last weekend shows kind of proof of concept.
You mentioned the youth movement a little bit. We spoke with Anthony Fontana last week about the season he's had. We've talked to Brandon Aronson in the past. What's it been like for you, Mark McKenzie, to see some of these homegrown players, many of whom you've worked with since before they were with the big squad and were kids themselves, step in and play such big roles for you this season?
Yeah, it's surreal. My son is an 8-year-old soccer player right now, and I think back to when I had Mark, Anthony, Matt Real, Brendan Aronson at 8 or 9 years old, and they were just young kids that loved the game and running around. Don't get me wrong, they were special then, you could tell, but you never know through the trajectory and pathway of a young player what's going to come up. So they've now taken it to a whole next level where they're going to be, I think they're all ready and have the quality to compete in the highest leagues in Europe. So obviously they want to win a trophy here first for Philadelphia, for the city. But the talent that they have, it's been awesome to watch and be a small part of their growth and development.
How beneficial has it been for these guys to kind of grow up together?
Incredible. So when you talk about culture, these kids are in school together. They share stories every day. They grow together. They go through good games, bad games, off the field problems, on the field things that they can learn from each other. So they have a real bond. So as a coach now, these are the guys, because they've been in our system for so long, they make you sleep at night because you know what you're going to get every day, day in and day out. So It's so valuable to have that the youth academy that we have, that Tommy Wilson does there, and Richie Graham. It's been exceptional, just preparing our players for not just what it's like to be a professional on the field, but also all that goes along with it off the field, which is a lot more complex than maybe people think. They see Anthony step out there and score big goals, team winners. They see Brendan Dominic get bought for almost $9 million, but they don't see the behind-the-scenes things that these guys sacrifice and work in the weight room and eating right and the school that they're still doing and finishing up. So there's a lot that goes into it, and those guys deserve a ton of credit for the success of this season.
We've talked last week we talked to Anthony about not only growing up in the Union Academy, but having family close by. Has it been beneficial that a lot of these guys that are growing up in the program have family close by and are able to also have that second support system as they go through maturing into a professional soccer player?
Yeah, I think that's a great observation. So, all young players need a feeling of security and self-worth and all those things, and who better to get that from than your family? Look, it can be also a distraction, too, for some players because, gosh, the ticket request for these guys is 50 every game, you know what I mean? So they have to keep people happy. It's not easy. But, again, for them to have their family be not only a phone call away, but also a drive away to go grab a dinner with a meal or whatever it might be, because the life of a professional athlete can be lonely at times. When you have an injury, for example, you're not around the team. You almost feel like you're not part of something. So to have that support system and family close by is a real weapon for us. So the more of these homegrown players we can have, the stronger our group becomes. So you can see again that real bond, and certainly it has to be said, it's no coincidence when you go through Mackenzie, Aronson, Real, Fontana. The parents that they have are really the biggest part of these kids' development. I think too often now we give credit to coaches for, who developed Christian Pulisic or who developed Messi or who developed Neymar. In a lot of cases, it starts with the parents. Parents develop players, and they give them that discipline and that love and that guidance that kind of gives them an opportunity to reach their full potential.
You obviously always try to put the spotlight back on the players and the work that they do on the field. This is obviously, as you mentioned, been an odd season. What's it been like for you and your coaching staff to ride this roller coaster with not only the challenges on the field and COVID, but, in an age of social justice and everything else going on, to be able to bond with these players and have them go through this together? What's that been like for all of you?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, I'm most proud of our club and our players for what they've done off the field this season. They've been a real voice for change, for positive change, for moving this country forward in so many different ways, whether it be voting, the inequalities we have with how African Americans are treated in our country. They've really stepped up in a big way. So I'm more proud. We could win the Supporter Shield this weekend, and that will be great. But I still have to say I'm most proud for the growth and the maturity that our players and leadership that they've shown all season. With that now, it's been unique as a staff. I have to say, it's made us feel like we can handle any crazy situation and environment. With coaching in a pandemic, it's not unheard of to go into a morning meeting and have a plan together, and then all of a sudden you have a player that tests positive and he's out, and now the plan has to change. We've had players that have gotten stuck in different countries with visa issues because of this, gone away for international duty, and they can't get back in the country. So there's been so many obstacles and hurdles to – I just said hurdles, that's not a word. so many hurdles that we've had to get over. I think the ultimate reward for all the work that's going on from the players and the staff would be to bring Philly the first trophy here.
Coach, if you could pick one word to describe this team, what would it be and why?
I have to say resilient. Look, we're a lot of words. I think we're fearless. I think we're young. I like all those words too. But the resiliency that this group has shown, you look at the amount of goal scorers we've had this year. It's not just one guy that's getting 20 goals for us like it is on so many other teams. Everyone's contributed in a big way at a different point of the year. We've started, it's almost 24 different players, which is more than most teams. And there hasn't been a big drop-off. In the key moments of seasons, and there's usually lots of them, different players have stepped up. So from that sense, we're a true team. I'm really most proud of the group for that resiliency to never get too high, never get too low. And, again, step on the field and really have each other's back. And if the other team scores the first goal, we're resilient enough to know that we can get a tie and ultimately win the game with a late goal. So really proud of the group, but that word jumped into my mind pretty quickly, and you kind of have to do that during this unique environment of the season we've had.
Jeff and I have talked about how you're the hottest team in Philadelphia, and people should certainly be watching. How excited are you for this opportunity Sunday? You've got destiny in your own hands. You get to go out on your home pitch where you haven't lost all season and try and do something that this organization hasn't been able to do before, then take your next steps after that. Where's your head right now as you go into this game?
Yeah, look, again, I've tried to keep the players as focused as possible on just being the best version of the Philadelphia Union. If we play our game and our soccer, the result takes care of itself. And it's been the same message all year. We've only been beat a couple times this year. And after every loss, we've bounced back with a big victory. I expect this weekend to be no different. Even when we went to Columbus against a very good team this last game, we dominate them on the road, and some days it doesn't go in for you, and that can happen. So, I expect our group to bounce back. We'll be, like you said, on national television in front of only 2,800 fans that are allowed in the stadium, but they'll be loud for us for sure. The players will be motivated. And again, but most importantly, I want them to feel like they don't have to be great. They just have to be themselves. And again, if we're the best version of the Philadelphia Union, the record and the data shows you we'll win the soccer game.
Well, Coach, we always appreciate the time you give us on the show. We love getting to talk a little bit of soccer with you. Wish you all the best of luck on Sunday, and look forward to seeing you bring one home for us.
So much, guys. And yeah, we'll do our best on Sunday to make the city proud, and always a pleasure joining you guys.
You take care and have a great day.
Thanks a lot.